Live from New York City, it's the Gary Null Show. And now, your host, Gary Null.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gary Null. Nice to have you with us today. This is the number one place to come to if you want to learn how to live a longer and healthier life and a happier life. We deal with all these issues. Of course, I also deal with important social issues, more investigative journalistic articles than any other journalist in the United States that I'm aware of. Over 400 commentaries, essays, in-depth analysis of the world we live in. And we do the most on environmental issues in any radio program on the planet. But on this particular broadcast, we always deal with health because that's something that cuts across all lines. It doesn't matter how young, old, educated, not, wealthy, not. You don't want to be diseased. You don't want to have high blood pressure and cancer. And this is how we can prevent it. We begin with a study from the Chinese Academy of Medical Sciences. That's much like our National Academy of Sciences. And they talk about something that we should all be aware of, and that is that higher vitamin C levels is associated with lower mortality, that means death, risk during a 16-year period. Now, the study is reported in the Journal of Epidemiology and Community Health, a major peer-reviewed journal, and it uncovered an association between higher plasma vitamin C levels and a lower risk of death during more than a 16-year follow-up. The study included almost 1,000 men and women, generally between the ages of 53 and 84, who enrolled in what is called the General Population Nutrition Intervention Trial. And then they followed them for 16 years, from 1999 clear up through 2000 plus. And what they found is this. Here's the takeaway. The more vitamin C you have in your system, the less oxidative stress you have, the less free radicals from the oxidative stress, the less attacking of your cells, damaging of your DNA, and the less cancer also, because one of the ways that we are able to monitor and destroy cancer cells, which we're all creating all the time, 24/7, but they don't manifest into a tumor. They don't manifest into something that can kill you. It's because we have what are called natural killer cells. And the natural killer cells patrol our body constantly. The more vitamin C you have, the more vigorous is your approach, meaning it's stronger, more vital. It can do its work in killing cancer cells better. And so that's important. In fact, there was among the top 25%, the adjusted risk of dying from any cause during a follow-up was 25% lower than the risk experienced by subjects whose vitamin C levels were among the lowest quarter. In those whose plasma vitamin Cs were the highest, 25% had adjusted risk of dying from cancer less and stroke, 28% less risk of dying from heart disease, and 35% less risk of dying from cancer. That's a big deal. Mind you, we're only talking about one nutrient. We're not talking about quercetin and the isothiocyanates and indole-3 carbinols and all of the cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, kale, mustard greens, radishes. All of those added into the diet reduce your risk even more from dying from cancer or even getting cancer. And then if you add in juicing, having your fresh celery, cucumber, lemon juice in the morning, which is great for you, and staying away from coffee, which is highly anabolic and very acidic, then you're able to prevent dying from heart disease even more. Now throw in a healthy plant-based diet, exercising, and appropriate ways of dealing with stress, and you're decreasing the underlying cause of a lot of disease, which is inflammation and lipid peroxidation, and also you're increasing your nitric oxide level. When you have pomegranates and beet juice, you are reducing heart disease. Why? Because you're increasing the oxygenation of your blood. You're helping to heal the arteries, the lining, of the veins. You are making them more pliable, more flexible. All that's good for you. So it's that simple, but vitamin C, that's the #1 nutrient you should be taking every day. I know when I go out in the sun, when I go to do a workout in the morning, I take extra vitamin C because it thins my blood, prevents stroke. It also protects me from the sun. And then when I'm going on a flight, I take vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams every hour that I'm on a flight, because I know what's happening to my body when I'm flying in a petri dish, enclosed petri dish, all those people around me. Mind you, I wear everywhere I go when I'm around a lot of public, and I'm going to be close to them, sitting right next to someone who may have a disease. I'm not talking about COVID now, any disease. I'll just wear a plastic mask. It covers my eyes, my nose, and my mouth, the 3 entry points. I also wear gloves on a plane or when I go shopping. Now, people may say, what's that about? Well, as a scientist, 33 years, every day in the laboratory, 5 additional years, once a week in the laboratory. That's 38 years. That's longer than most people have a major career. And as a scientist, I knew the importance of hygiene. And when you touch a doorknob, when you touch money, there could be over 3,000 different microorganisms, bacteria on that single dollar bill. Now, how many times in a day are you buying something and you're touching, you're shaking hands? Let's say someone, before they shook your hand, they sneezed or coughed in their hands and did something like this, like rubbing your hands together is magically going to cause whatever was on your hands to disappear. No, it's there. And even things we don't think about, like you're in a house, someone's got a cold, you don't. You're taking care of them. Are you super building your immune system? Are you taking extra vitamin D, extra vitamin C, extra zinc, extra quercetin, echinacea, astragalus, cardiarco, extra juices? You should. Are you making sure that they, whoever is sick, is putting their toothbrush upside down in a glass of hydrogen peroxide, which will kill all the bacteria and viruses on it? No, not doing that. Are you spraying down all of the things that people commonly touch in a day? Remote control, doorknobs with alcohol? No, not doing that. Well, then there's a high likelihood you're going to end up with what's called rebound infection. They're starting to get better. They brush their teeth. Now what was on the bacteria from their body that caused the disease on their toothbrush, they brush their teeth, boom, they're sick again. And now with long COVID, you're going to be really concerned about keeping to a strict protocol. And remember, if you go to the GaryNull.com and look at the article I wrote on masks, no opinion in it. It dealt just with looking at all the actual high quality studies, the largest study ever done on masks. And you start to realize, wow, we thought if we wore these masks, we'd be protected. Standing 6 feet away from people, we'd be protected. Unfortunately, there's no good science to support it. Now, a shield, there is good science, because remember, a mask, just use common sense. If you put a mask on that was able to block 90% of the particulate matter around you that you're breathing in, okay, good. Danders, molds, bacteria, viruses, you're blocking that. Where's the oxygen supposed to come from? All right, how much oxygen are you able to get in? Normally it's around 21%. What if you're down to 19%? Suddenly you have oxygen deprivation, and that can end up killing and harming brain cells, central nervous cells, lung cells. So something that allows you to breathe also allows viruses in. That viruses are very small. You're talking about minus electron size. And so you're dealing with something that can easily penetrate most masks that people wear. And also it depends upon how far you are from someone. If you're in a common area, then everyone's breathing out, everything is in the air. Now, if your immune system is strong, okay, that's great. That's going to protect you, your innate immune system. But what if your immune system isn't that strong? What if you have some comorbidity? You have diabetes, you have high blood pressure, you're on some medications. Then you've got to be very conscious. So a shield, a plastic shield that goes from the top of the forehead to the bottom of the chin and covers out ear to ear, nothing can penetrate it. Now, yes, oxygen comes underneath the mask and allows you to breathe. But if you're in a room or you're outside, when I go shopping, I'm not standing side by side to people, and the air is not going to go down and then back up again. That's not how it works. Someone sneezes or coughs, it's just like if you were to shoot a squirt gun at someone. If you're shooting it at 20 feet, you're not going to hit them. The water will go and fall to the ground. If you're 2 feet away, they're going to get splashed all over the place. Just remember, use common sense, but also use an ionizer. There are lots of different ionizers, and they exhibit the capacity to block all kinds of bacteria and molds and danders and from getting into the body, because they create a protective shield about 12 inches around the face. And you can get them rechargeable or put new batteries in. I have 2 every time I go to a concert, because you shouldn't stop socializing. I mean, that's part of the joy of life. You just take some precautions. By the way, I've been this way my entire adult life. All right? Ask any of my friends when we go to dinner. I'll take the napkins on the table and I put it on my seat. They just look at me like, you're an idiot, Gary. Well, that may be true, but I'm not going to be a sick idiot. What do you mean? Well, do you think that the average person actually washes themselves after they defecate? Soap and water, cleans themselves, get in the shower, whatever, or use a bidet. I have a bidet. You clean yourself. Soap and water. The Japanese, every home has one. Around the world, everybody knows this. In America, you put a bidet in, people think it's a drinking fountain. Hey, we are not hygienic. Well, I use toilet paper. Fine, then you're clean. Absolutely, I'm clean. Okay, let's just take a sample. Take a smear, put this, and rub your cheek and see what's on it. Oh my God, look at all that. All that's on there. And that is fecal matter. And that's what gets on people who eat salads and raw foods in restaurants. Do you think the people in those restaurants are practicing full hygiene? Good luck with that. I've owned 3 of the top vegan restaurants in American history. I started the first organic vegan restaurant where 90% of the food that was consumed each day came from a farm, fertile farm upstate New York. We'd grow it. We'd make a seam bread with French brick ovens. We did everything the old-fashioned way. Brought it down in the afternoon, and then the chefs would prepare it. We had a limited menu, 2 entrees, two soups, 2 salads, 2 desserts. But it was only $2.50. I did it as a co-op, so the community could work together. That didn't work. Everybody wanted to eat for free. I work at the co-op. I haven't seen you in here. Well, I'm going to. Yeah, I didn't mind. It was a great time from 1970 to 1980. And all the activists, I mean, literally, it was up near Columbia University, 108th and Broadway. We were packed every night. And people appreciated the fact that we had pictures up on the wall of, here's the seed, here's your salad. We grew it organically. Here's the bread, whole ground, stone ground. This is whole grain and stone ground. We grinded it ourselves. We made it at low heat, so it's a living food. The soups, the sauces, lots of love. And we made it gourmet, too. It's the first gourmet vegan restaurant in American history. And I was excited by that. In any case, hygiene was very important. And I set very strict standards because I didn't want to have someone come in, eat a good meal, and then end up with some form of food poisoning because someone forgot to wash their hands. So we need hygiene. And you especially need hygiene because remember, whatever's on your body that you didn't wash goes through your underwear, goes through your pants or dress, and goes onto the seat. You could go into any restaurant in America and just take samples, simple bacterial samples, off the seats. Go into any movie theater, same way. So I just take a portable little cushion, right? Take my own silverware. Simple. Now, is it eccentric? To the average person, yes. To my friends, they make fun of it. That's fine. But to me, at least I'm keeping as much as I can the harmful bacteria out of my body. And then I make sure I have enough vitamin C, because vitamin C is your single most important nutrient to prevent heart disease, cancer, and to keep you healthy and keep yourself strong. Now, I mentioned cauliflower just a few moments ago when I was talking about cruciferous vegetables. Well, according to Rutgers University, cauliflower prevents various cancers. Yes, and that's because it contains what are called glucosinolates and thiocyanates. Both are sulfur-containing phytonutrients that cleanse the body of damaging free radicals. It also contains a substance called sulforaphane, sulforphane. Now, that's a compound that's known to inhibit the occurrence of some cancers, and it's strongly anti-carcinogenic, primarily colon rectal cancer. And you're talking about one item from the diet can help with cancer prevention. Well, what if you ate 2 or 3 servings of cruciferous vegetables per day? I know some of you are, and good for you. And when you juice the cruciferous vegetables, that's really powerful, more powerful than eating it, because you're getting a higher bioavailability. More of it's getting into your cells. And if you have powders, even better still most concentrated. But sulforaphane is in broccoli, it's in cauliflower, and you can end up with fewer cancerous polyps, and those polyps can lead to cancer of the colon. Just something to think about, not expensive, easy to get, and you steam them. And also, if you were to increase your protein intake by 25 grams a day, if you're a woman, you can reduce hip fractures by a risk of up to 14%, just that alone. That's the University of Leeds in the United Kingdom. So increasing intake of protein and drinking green tea is one way women could reduce the risk of suffering a hip fracture. That's according to new research. And it's just 25 grams. That'd be 1 scoop of a plant-based protein. Now, take into account that you could be using vitamin K and vitamin D, calcium and magnesium, manganese. There are combinations out there that will help you increase bone density, and that will help prevent it also. This was published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition. And I got time to squeeze one more in, and that is that mindfulness meditation trumps the placebo in pain reduction. This is Wake Forest University Medical Center. Scientists at Wake Forest Medical Center have found new evidence that mindfulness meditation reduces pain more effectively than a placebo. This is significant because placebo-controlled trials are the recognized standard for demonstrating the efficacy of clinical and pharmacological treatments. The research published in the Journal of Neuroscience showed that study participants who practiced mindfulness meditation reported greater pain relief than placebo. And significantly, brain scans showed that mindfulness meditation produced a very different pattern of activity than those produced by placebo to reduce pain. Quote, "We were completely surprised by the findings." That's the professor of neurobiology and anatomy at Wake Forest. Yeah, you're surprised, but think of all the people. And I want to give a shout out to one person, Deepak Chopra. Dr. Chopra has spent decades showing the power of meditation and in reducing pain and increasing overall well-being. Just want to say thank you for a lifetime of good work. We share difference of opinion on other issues. In fact, I remember, oh my goodness, it must have been around 1975. My producer, Adria Eismeyer, remember her? 14 years my producer, phenomenal producer. She was the one that made sure that all those get-togethers in the country up at Grossinger's and Homowac and let's see, where did we go? We went to 7 different places over a period of 12 years, doing 2 a year, one in the winter, one the summer, and I brought in the best speakers imaginable. Linus Pauling, all the great people in the alternative movement came. And she said, there's this guy named Deepak Chopra who wants to come up. And so we invited him up, and he was an afternoon speaker. And he did a good job. People enjoyed it. So that's how long ago that introduction was. A long time ago. He's still around, still doing good work. Good for him. So just remember mindful meditation every day. In fact, whenever I'm faced with some kind of issue, instead of getting angry or getting upset, I simply sit quietly for a moment and I simply say to myself, calm, calm, just calm down. It's just information. And you'll find a way through this. Stay calm. My blood pressure, my heart rate stay completely normal. As a result, that's one less way of causing yourself to have a micro stroke in the brain, which people can when you get angry, start yelling and screaming, really is not good for you. So just stay calm. And mindful meditation in its different forms helps to do that. And by the way, let's stop pretending that we don't know that our taking too much salt in the diet can cause us to have a heart attack or a stroke. Tulane University just said, stop with all the salt in your food and reduce heart disease risk. So we know the science is there. This was published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, and yet we're still using too much salt. The question is, why? Because you could use lemon juice, lime juice, apple cider vinegar, combination of all that, and even throw in a sweetener, a natural sweetener like raspberry juice. Just juice some raspberries and put the juice, strain it, put the juice of the raspberries in there, and with the apple cider vinegar, even a touch of Manuka honey, shake it up, and then spray it on your salad. And it's delicious, enhances the flavor of everything. But there's no sodium, no high blood pressure. I'm Gary Null, and we're doing the video streaming now over Zoom because a lot of people would like to see the person sharing information. But we have to get on with the rest of our program, which will not be video streamed. But go to GaryNull.com because I'm adding new articles, a lot of new articles. I have a major new article I'm doing tomorrow on the World Economic Forum and why you should be very concerned with what they're doing, these unelected people. And also I'm doing one later today on a different understanding of what it means to be awake versus woke. And all this you can find on GaryNull.com or PRN.Live. PRN.Live. Back in a moment. Please stay with us.
Are you tired of closed-minded programming? Well, look no further than PRN.Live, the home for progressive voices.